Hey girl, so I've never done a react before, but I really like Michelle McDaniel, and I saw that she posted a video that just like, if I ever was going to react, I feel like this one is kind of perfect, at least right now, because I am a mom dealing with the terrible twos. Moms admit they regret their children, and it's getting concerning. Perfect. She is great. So let's jump into that right now.
The year is 1946. World War II just ended. The victors? The United States, Soviet Union, United Kingdom. The world is still shaken, but they strive to get back to normalcy and unity. Family. Unity. The war and the utter sadness around America made people postpone having children. But that was over, and it was time to get busy.
Sounds kind of similar to what's happening now, doesn't it? Where people want to postpone or not have kids because the state of the economy or just like things in general.
The baby boom era. That's right, your grandparents were doing the boom boom during the baby boom, the era that idolized domesticity. After years of women fighting to get into the workforce, they were heavily encouraged to leave and focus on what really mattered. Getting those childbearing hips ready for some childbearing. The media and culture at the time heavily influenced this. Yeah.
Can I point out that like between 18 and 25, like your hips do actually change? Just throwing that out there, which is kind of like, I think the optimal time for having kids is between like 25 and 35. I know you can have kids before or after that age, but that just seems like the optimal time. Just my opinion.
Yes, even back then, there was a sense of influencers, no computer or iPhone needed. Women were marrying young, usually straight out of high school, and sold a dream that the best, most fulfilling thing you could do was have a baby ripped right out of you and you would tear from your booty hole to your... Oh, I said that wrong. My producer is saying I was completely wrong. And yep, I got it. I will make sure to stay on script.
I think that's backwards.
Deliver a precious gift from above.
Seems strange having a little one again, Mrs. Sturdivant.
Seems heavenly. I'd forgotten how darling babies are.
And that's what many would say, because if you spoke against the most fulfilling and blissful job, you were a freak.
I find that kind of funny because to some degree I've heard women from like that time frame or similar that were having kids. Actually, I think the women I'm talking about were the babies that were being had at this time. But nonetheless, like much older women that they didn't seem like they enjoyed that they had kids. Some of them seemed like they really hated the fact that they had kids, actually. Just interesting to me to some degree. I guess you've always had that. I guess you've always had women that had kids that you can tell didn't really want to have kids. There is an importance to that, I think, because there's a lot of people now, and I mean then too, that were trying to make women have kids that didn't want them, and stupid. That's really stupid. People who don't want kids should not be pushed into having them because that's not good for them or the said kids, or like the generational trauma that may happen thereafter.
It's the most fulfilling and blissful job. You were a freak. And in that time, it was...
Also, she says fulfilling and blissful. So far, in my experience, the job of being a mother is extremely fulfilling, but it's also extremely hard, and it will test your mental capacity for things. It will break. I think it breaks. I don't think there is a person that doesn't break at some point. Like, it is... ouch. But also it is so fulfilling. Like, there are all these little things that your little human learns to do, and look, I don't remember the first time, but every time, judge me, I don't care, every time my daughter farts, I don't know why. Okay, maybe it's because when I was a kid, I thought farting was the absolute funniest thing ever. And I don't really think it's the funniest thing ever as an adult. But for some reason, when she farts, I have pride. I take a great sense of pride in creating this awesome little one who can fart. I, but that's kind of an example. Like, just every little thing that they do or learn to do, you're just almost in awe at. It's incredible to watch them learn and grow.
Was not good to be different or black or gay or a nerd. So, I mean, could you imagine not having a kid? Ugh, what a loser. Well, speeding up to the modern day, there is a rise of lonely men and women who would rather have hobbies focus on their work instead of dealing with a crusty dusty who would probably make her a single mom anyway. That's right, the rise of the child-free woman. They listened to Destiny's Child when they were younger and they don't need no man. Many of these women identify as a cat mom, a dog mom, or simply a woman who doesn't have children that is going about her life and doing whatever she wants and is totally fulfilled without a child.
We're not moms. We can make a last-minute dinner reservation without a babysitter.
We're not moms. We can sleep until noon.
We're not moms. We can have children.
Good for you, girl. I'm so glad that you're so much better than all the moms out there. What are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? Okay.
Smoking hazards on our coffee table.
Yes, even in the deep, deep year of 2026, there's many people who think if a woman does not have children, she's going to be living in her one-bedroom apartment, sequestered in the corner of her dirty, cat-filled apartment, crying because her level of fulfillment is dwindling. And
there was a time where I felt like I could have had kids or not had kids, and I was fulfilled and I enjoyed the freedom that come with not having kids. So I really don't understand, I guess, the perspective of thinking that people who don't have kids won't have any fulfillment or enjoyment in life. I think that's totally wrong. I mean, especially if they choose not to have kids, of course they're going to have fulfillment and enjoy their life. Now, if they're not having kids and that's not by choice, they really want kids. Yeah. So if you think you're taking a jab at people who don't want kids by saying they don't have an enjoying and fulfilling life, you're actually taking a jab at people who really do want kids and can't have them. Those are the ones that are not going to get as much fulfillment and enjoyment because what they really want, what they really want out of life, they've tried desperately to have and have not gotten that. And that's not to say that, all people who can't have kids and really want them are just living in a pit of despair all the time. I'm sure most of them seek help with that and they do their best to live fulfilling and happy lives, but you're not taking a jab at people who don't want kids. And then to think that people who do have kids are having the most wonderful, fulfilling, and enjoying their lives, like there's both. Either way, this it's not a black and white thing. People who don't have kids, some of them are fully fulfilled and enjoy their lives, and some of them struggle to do that. And then people who have kids, some of them are very fulfilled and enjoy their lives, and some of them struggle to do that. People have hard times either way. Like, just shut up. Be nice. Sorry. I feel like that was a very long-winded way of being like, things are now not black and white. How about you just be nice? If you were so fulfilled and happy with your life, why would you be hating on someone living differently? That's the real question here.
dwindling and is down in hell, where every woman who doesn't have children should be.
When you're talking to a girl and she says that she does not want children, that is the biggest red flag in the world.
And many people are
To people who want kids, that is the biggest red flag, that the relationship is not going to work. To people who want kids. Not everybody wants kids.
saying that these women who are online talking about how great it is to be child-free, aka the child-free influencer, are influencing young women to never have children and setting them up for a life of unfulfillment, sadness.
Here's the thing. You cannot influence someone to truly want or not want kids. There's a very strong draw that every single person will have to one or the other. If people are being influenced, young people, to not want kids, if they really want kids, then they will be de-influenced shortly in life and be like, oh yeah, that was bullshit. I do want kids. Okay? You can't You can't, that's not something you can influence in or out of people. It's too strong a draw to want kids or not want kids for that to really be a thing.
And depression.
Being child free is the best. I can literally count on my hands how many times I've been like, oh, I wish I had a kid.
See, I wish that these people would say for me, though. Like, I understand they can't really influence people out of wanting kids. Again, it's too strong a draw. But the fact that they talk like the way that they want to live their life is the right way for everyone to live theirs is not logical. Just like it's not logical for someone to get on there and be like, you know, everyone should have kids. You're both wrong. Hello. Hi. You're both wrong.
This many, 0.
What's crazy about not having kids? You could literally do anything you want. Like,
I think it's almost like they're creating videos like that, fishing for people to say, yeah, you made the right decision, hun. Like, whether it's the people saying everyone should have kids or everyone should not want to have kids, it's really just, it's like people when they get online fishing for compliments. Like, you're just fishing for someone to tell you made the right decision. And if you feel so strongly about your decision, you do not need people in the comments being like, yes, you did the right thing. Like, you shouldn't need that. I think that it shows a certain kind of insecurity because I've only been a mom for 2 years, but I have never felt the need for someone to tell me I made the right decision.
I was just getting a Dunkin' Donuts.
One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is to be child-free.
Growing up as a little girl, we are conditioned and we keep hearing that we should be mommies when we grow up. Am I okay with not having children? Absolutely. I've gone on and had a fulfilling life. If you have grandchildren and children, fabulous. I hope you have a wonderful life with them. For me and so many of my other girlfriends who never had children, we're doing okay.
But I have a different theory. I think the mothers are actually telling many women who don't have children to think a lot and extremely hard for years before you decide to have a baby rip through your lower region, and of course everything that comes after that.
Do you think this job is easy 24/7, no breaks, barely adult interaction? You're talking to kids all day long.
If you are debating having children, please stop and listen.
Unpopular opinion, but having a baby ruined my body.
You're just surviving, trying to raise these kids.
I regret.
We all break. You should think long and hard, in my opinion, about having kids. And you should live your life and enjoy it without kids quite a bit before you decide to do that, in my opinion. But these moms are filming their breaking down moments, and you can do whatever you want, girlfriend, but that's not for me, and I don't recommend it. Like, dude, like, as moms, we all break down, probably sometimes multiple times daily, and we have a moment where we just need to breathe through it and cry or whatever. But why are you recording that? It's not that you can't talk about it, but you don't have to record the moments where it's happening. You can get on there and rationally discuss that it is not easy to be not even a mom, but a parent. Like, especially if you're a dad who actively parents, because I know that from what I've seen, not all dads are that way. Like, it's hard. It's hard to be a parent. We all have those moments, but I guess I don't understand. Like, I don't think you should record your children's outburst because those are private, and I kind of don't think you should record yours either because also those should probably be private. You know, I think some parts of real life are better left off the internet. I don't know, because like there's some things I wanted to share, but I'm afraid I might break down. And so that's probably just a me thing, and I'm probably being a little over judgmental because I have not allowed myself to talk about certain things on the internet.
Making being a mom my dream.
I don't know.
I don't think people understand this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire
They should. If people don't understand how hard it is to be a parent, and it will be one of the hardest things you do, they should. You should fully understand that before you become a parent. I mean, I was over 30, so my brain was fully developed, and I was well aware it was going to push my boundaries. And I think that everyone, I'm not saying you have to be over 30, but I think everyone should be aware that is going to push you to your limits.
First, there was the baby boom era.
Before
I introduce
you have kids.
and welcome you to the regretful mother era. And honey, they are not scared to tell you what they call is the truth of motherhood.
Dedicating your life to kids, losing yourself.
Surprise, you had kids. They come first now. Sorry, I kind of just had to sit in silence after that because I guess I don't understand how she had kids without realizing that they were going to be a huge priority in her life. I just don't. Maybe she never met one. I don't know. I am going to put her original video in the description. If you have never watched any of Michelle's videos, go to her channel. You will not be disappointed. Not in the slightest.
When I was younger, I was always sold the dream that having kids was magical. It hurts for a little bit, but then once you do that one big push and you hold your baby, all that pain just goes away. You're not gonna remember any of it. And then I saw birth and I said, that don't look like magic. That looks like a crime scene. And people would always give me crap for it, but many moms on TikTok are saying, no, it's right. It's awful.
So I gave birth. Sorry, what the hell was that? Usually when people are like, want to hear my birth story, I think, no. And
I could tell mine if anyone's interested. I had a C-section. C-sections are real births. Your baby really does come out of your body, and it doesn't make you any less of a mom, and you typically do not have a choice.
now that I've given birth, I realize that was the most effed up thing that's ever happened to me. I guess it's a story in my life now. Too many people are casually giving birth. For some people, I guess it is casual. Obviously, not for me. They're gonna put me on it.
Again, I'll tell the story if you want it. For some reason, during the most intense, I've had a probably almost equally intense moment since then. But one of the most intense, if not the most intense moment of my life was going in labor to have my child. And for some reason, I was calm as a cucumber. Like the people at the hospital that were working with me several times were like, we cannot believe how chill you've been. But anyways, I just remember like not overthinking anything and just like, this is what we got to do. Anyways, I'm not going to, I look, if you want to hear about it, I don't mind sharing it.
An IV drip, and before I even start contracting,
just let me know.
I'm gonna ask for epidural. I'm not gonna feel shit. This is gonna be lit. I was so incredibly wrong. It's unbelievable. The experience couldn't have been more traumatic.
And traumatic it was. My whole body was just tight as she explained everything that went on. And I think the moment the doctor came in, I would have lost it.
The doctor comes in and she's like, oh no, you're getting induced. Takes this balloon, opens my vagina with a crank.
Wait, why is there a balloon?
That was in the plans for mine, but it didn't happen. None of that. I wasn't induced. No balloons.
The crank.
Puts the balloon in, blows it up with water. He puts the string to my leg, hooks me up to the IV, puts me on oxytocin, and goes, okay, you're going to start contracting and this balloon's going to fall out.
Yeah. That's not even the worst part. This painful party just begun.
Sorry about the water.
Get on her knees and pull the string of the balloon to see if it comes out. Pain of that was insane.
He keeps talking about this balloon, and I have seen birth before, but I don't remember a balloon. To be fair, I was like this the whole time.
So basically, if they induce you, it is to put you into labor, and the balloon, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but the balloon is to open up your cervix enough so you get the inducing medication to like start contractions and things like that, and the balloon is to open up the cervix enough for baby to actually come out. If anyone knows better or could say that better than me, please leave a comment.
So maybe I was just so scarred I missed that part, but I feel like I would have remembered a balloon. Is that in everybody's birth story? You get a balloon shoved up there?
Nope.
She's like, deep breath, and then she's trying to pull this 3 centimeter thing out of my 1 centimeter vagina. So tight.
Oh, all right. Well, that just made everything hurt down there.
Then the doctor comes in with an ever so literal like sewing needle.
I see one of you men leave in the chat.
Oh,
And I know at least one
it's
of you
popped the
was saying,
balloon.
but having a kid is so worth it in the end. No. If you're clicking off this video and you're one of the people saying, but childbirth is so worth it, especially if you're a dude with a whole schlong.
If childbirth is worth it, it does not negate the fact that it can be a fucking horrible experience.
And you're clicking off this video because you're better keep this video on. I'm gonna tell your future wife or girlfriend that you couldn't even sit through a woman explaining what a dog balloon and her vagina.
I was getting fisted a lot. Something I was never into, but now I know for sure I'm not. Now all that's left to come is the baby. Guess what? After they broke my water, 2 bacterial infections crawled up my vagina and poisoned both me and the.
And that's how the story ended. Ma'am, are you okay?
Jesus.
The last month on the L&D floor delivering babies, and something they don't tell you is that you're going to poop in front of everybody.
Okay, so I did actually know about that one. Side quest.
I don't think that happened to me because, again, C-section.
When you're a personal
I was very afraid of it beforehand, though.
trainer, a lot of the women that have had kids will tell you everything, and I am so grateful for them. They did not hold anything back, and I think almost every single person that told me their birth story told me that they took a fat in front of everyone. They didn't care because they were having a whole baby. So, I mean, if you're
Yeah, at the it was kind of funny that you worry about that before, because when it's happening, you're probably not going to give a shit, pun intended.
that wants children and you're scared of pooping, I think that's the least of your worries. At least it would be for me. I'm having a baby. You deal with it. Everyone in this room. Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! And some of them coming out and saying it wasn't even all the stuff that had to do really with the birth and, you know, your area down there that was painful. When someone asked me what the most painful part of labor was, and they expect me to say contractions, but I show them this, and it's just a bunch of horrifying needles in her hand. As someone who has a fear of needles,
Fair.
yeah. But that's just the beginning. Personally,
That part does suck.
I love when moms share these horrific stories about childbirth because it is something that can happen. My mom, when I watched her give birth to my sister, she was smiling the whole time. I have never heard my mom once complain about any of her births. She
Oh my God.
one of those women that would want to be pregnant 10 times at the least. Like, she wished she could have more children. And taking care of us was the absolute best part for her. I still ask my
I have to say, for me, like when I look back, it was, I do have fond memories of having her. Maybe not so much the process of, and before when things were not really going as expected, but the 2 days you spent in the hospital after.
mom till this day. I'm like, Mom, be real with me. Did you really like taking care of us? Like, she will not budge. She loved it. But there are some moms that are in absolute tears about raising children. Last forever. How do you know? How do you know the person that you marry isn't gonna say, you know what? Now that we have a child, a child changed me, which happens, and they just walk on out. They don't want nothing to do with this.
Mommy, mommy, mommy.
Brayden, give me back my dirt mound!
Mommy, mommy, mommy. I need my juice box.
Whoa there. Okay, Brittany, hold on. I'll get it for you. Here you go.
Thanks, Daddy.
Mom! Brayden took my dirt mound! Bethany, Daddy got you a new dirt mound.
Thanks, Daddy.
Okay, Brittany has her juice box, Bethany has her dirt mound, Brayden is in the sink. That's fine for now. All right, Barbie, I can go make dinner if you change Bellamy's diaper. I can't do this. Wait, what?
Mommy, can I have another juice box?
I can't do this. Hey, Barbie, where are you going? Ken? I can't do this. It just dawned on me. I am not meant to be a mom. What do you mean? You're pregnant right now.
That's not funny. I'm so sorry. I was missing a parent growing up, so I don't know. And shut up. Damn.
Here. Hey,
Oh
Brayden,
God.
you can't just walk away.
I shouldn't be laughing at
You
this.
always wanted children. I gave them to you. Have fun.
Mommy, mommy, mommy. I need a juice box.
I think you gave him too many, hun.
You have a juice box, Bethany. You had like 5 today. My name's Brittany. Bye, Ken.
Doesn't even say bye to the kids.
Oh, you men thought that you couldn't get left? My bra being out. Oh yeah, a woman can leave you too, even if you're a Ken. I hate motherhood. So this is another mom.
You can get very mentally ready for kids. It will still test you. Okay? Like I don't know. I'm sure there are people out there who are so emotionally stable But I think most people, it will at the very least test you, and you have to breathe sometimes before you respond.
In her car talking about she hates motherhood. This is kind of a running theme. I'm guessing they don't want to say this in the house next to the children.
You're still posting it, and they might see it later.
Car, take a breather, and vent to TikTok about these damn kids.
This shit is not fucking easy. Like, it's hard enough, motherfucker, to work every fucking day. But to have a child,
I
then you
don't.
gotta work,
I'm looking that way.
and then you gotta just
Right
stay
now.
afloat. Like, I can't make this up. Like, whoever that has no children, please. And if you want some, please stop the want.
See? Right there. Whenever someone just blissfully, just in passing in my comment section or something, people will ask, oh, you look great, Michelle. How many kids do you have? And I say, I ain't got no kids. And then there'll always be some crusty creature from the crevices of their single bedroom apartment who does have kids but doesn't take care of them. And then saying,
I knew it. I knew she was one of these women who tells people not to have kids.
I ain't never said not to have children. I said, I just don't have it.
That's normal. That's the normal way to be about it. She's never told anyone not to have kids. She has just said that she doesn't have kids and doesn't really want kids. That's a normal fucking person.
Children. I didn't promote anything. I said in my specific life, I don't have no children. But this woman is full on saying, don't have kids. And if you want them, stop the want.
To have. Like, this shit ain't cool, like, at times. Like, and then...
Yeah. Don't tell people not to have kids because sometimes it's hard. Well, depending on what age they are, it's probably hard every day, a while. But yeah, again, most of the people who want kids, if they have any kind of critical thinking skills at all or just knowledge of life, I don't know, they probably already know that. So don't tell someone not to have kids because it's hard sometimes. A lot of people know that and they still want to have it, and that's okay.
Single. It's so disgusting. Like,
oh, sorry. She said when you're single. Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's your life. Do whatever you want. But yeah, I agree. If you're single, you probably don't have a kid right now. Probably don't do that.
Why? I just don't understand why men just be out here dropping these kids off on women, and then y'all just think that we supposed to just do it all. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have just did what the fucking doctor told me to do, and that was to get an abortion.
To be a single mom, oh my God, she's not wrong. I mean, I'm not saying she should have gotten rid of her kid. Obviously, I'm not saying that. But, mom's talking about it being hard and to have to work and be the sole caregiver for your child and pay daycare, which is the amount rent is or more alone. Look, she's right in saying that it's incredibly difficult to do that.
Shit. All right. So there's that. Once again, put a lot of thought into having children. I think it's really good to get the women on, the internet who say, this is amazing. This is awesome. Look what my little bundle of joy did. And then it's also good to see, look at these women, the ones who don't really have a support system, the ones that the man...
Two things can be true at once.
Left, the ones that are low in money, and ask yourself, can I handle that? Imagine you quit your job to be a stay-at-home mom and the only thing your husband can afford is just paying the bills. You can't get your hair, nails done, or no new clothes. You're in hell. Wait, I think food might be a little bit more important than new hair, nails, and clothes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't look, everything else comes first for me. I don't personally. Everything else comes before my hair, nails, new clothes. If that's wrong, you can argue that. You can argue and let me know why that's wrong, but everything else comes first. And especially when your kids are so little, you're buying them new clothes every 6 months because they're growing out of their clothes, and that's way more important. I'm not growing out of mine. My clothes might be old, but they fit.
I don't know if I would qualify that as hell. Some people can't even afford rent, much less a one-income household. I'm not gonna put her on the other level of the moms who are frustrated about cashews in their toes. This one's on a whole nother level. The way that she could just get a remote job at home. For example, TikTok. Mom content is all the rage right now. Self-care is important, but not enough for me to make my husband feel bad for doing his best and affording me the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. Yeah.
Agreed.
My husband's doing nothing wrong. He's just doing his best. And it looks like you agreed to the stay-at-home mom thing, so I genuinely have not enjoyed being a mom. The constant screaming is actually killing me. Just wait until X month. Then it's X month. I don't want to keep holding on. This is why I don't listen to what people say. I decide what I want, and everyone's opinion literally goes like, not even through my ears,
Yeah.
over there. Especially when it has to do with my life. I always hear, oh, but when you become a mom, you will love, oh, but when, well, just wait until a few months.
And also, every stage is not for everyone. Some people hate the newborn stage. Some people hate the toddler stage. You know, every stage is not for everyone. I have so far done decently with all the stages. Luckily enough, I haven't hated any of them. The newborn stage I look at very fondly, although it was the absolute scariest, most anxiety inducing time of my life, because there is a fear. If you've been a mom, you know for the first 9 months that I obsessed over. But other than that, it was extremely precious. But it's not for everyone. And I recognize that because you do not sleep. I mean, you do, but not much.
You'll love it, I promise. Oh, you still don't love it at the time that I told you that you'll love it? Don't worry. Just give it a few more months. You will love it. You hear the same thing when you say you don't want children. Oh, you'll change your mind after you get out of high school. Oh, you'll change your mind once you actually start maturing and turn 25. You'll change your mind when you meet the right guy. I met Garrett. He also doesn't want children. Oh, you'll change your mind when Garrett changes your mind, because every man changes their mind. It's in their blood. They need to spread their seed everywhere. Garrett probably doesn't want children more than my booty cheeks. Oh, you'll change your mind once you get to 30. They always push that line. Listen, I will change my mind when I damn near want to change my mind. Stupid. Plus, I got my uterus yeeted out of me, and I haven't thought of her since. Best thing I could have done for my endometriosis. Anyway, there is a never-ending supply of moms on TikTok saying they love their kids, you know, but they absolutely hate motherhood.
Fucking hate being a mom. I hate being a parent. Like, I fucking hate it. And I feel bad for saying that, but like, I wish someone would have let people with BPD know that like we really shouldn't be moms. Like, having a kid is too fucking complicated. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to be responsible for this tiny human. I just want to be responsible for myself, and it's too late now.
And whether you have a support system or not, this can still
rough.
be you. Like, you can still have these thoughts after having a child. It's very sad, but it's also very real. And being a trainer and having a lot of clients, you're kind of people's therapist. So it was very not eye-opening, because for some reason I kind of knew all of this stuff for like when it came to myself, like I knew I could have like a reverse effect, like not that motherly, those motherly thoughts right when you have a kid and you're like overtaken with like blissfulness. I knew there had to be some kind of like negative thing to this motherhood too from a young age, even though I grew up in a
It's extremely overwhelming. And like I'm not a big proponent of these women posting this online, because again, if their kids see it one day, how are they going to feel? But a lot of these feelings they're having, if not all of them, I'm not trying to invalidate how they feel. I think I've said it several times already. It's extremely hard, and it's extremely overwhelming and overstimulating.
A world where being a mother was the most amazing thing ever. Mostly because I don't relate myself to other people. I think of me when it comes to my life. I know I don't live in a Disney movie.
That makes sense.
Interesting, because I worked with a lot of moms who were stay-at-home moms who worked part-time or were completely at home, and they still were very, like, it was amazing with how many women would start just bawling about how much they didn't expect being a mom would be like this.
I was not prepared in motherhood to constantly have to find the patience. Like, I have to find the patience all hours of the day to do everything and anything.
And I'm not laughing at them, but it always makes me giggle, because people always used to tell me, I promise you, when you hold your baby and you just
no,
you will love it. And then there's just all these women on here being like, I didn't put any thought into this. I didn't know it could be this awful, or like, I didn't know it could be like this, having a kid. Once again, nanny some children. Make nice with the moms in your neighborhood. Give them a break and take care of their kid for a whole day. Don't stop there though. You need to make this a regular thing. Like, take your worst day and then go take care of some children, and then let's, you know, see how you can handle that. Some people can, some people can't.
Because no one told me how taxing it is to hear someone say you're fucking, my God, stay up. No one tells you how taxing it is to hear someone whine or cry or say, mama, mama, Mama.
To be completely honest, Family Guy got me prepared for that one.
Mom! Mom!
Mommy! Mama!
Mommy! Mommy!
What? But personally for me, I think it's important that the women are posting things like this because for years, I was personally told that being a mom is amazing. And it was very, very just,
Again, I think that there is good to posting like honest reviews of being a parent. I think that being tactful in the way you're doing that in case your kids come across it would be more beneficial for everyone, I guess. But I do appreciate the fact that people are giving honest reviews on what it is like to be a parent.
I don't know, demon-like to say that motherhood is actually extremely hard and maybe not as fulfilling for some women. And then you get women who have,
which is crazy. Do not demonize honesty about being a mother and or not wanting kids. There's nothing wrong with that.
this fantasy about motherhood end up on TikTok, boogers running from their nose and saying, I didn't know it was gonna be like this, thought it was gonna be like a Disney movie.
Mama, all the time. 24/7. Like there's no way to mentally prepare for your brain to
not really
that. And on top of it, all you're trying to do is things for them, like you're trying to make food or you're trying to get dishes done so that you can have dishes to make more food, or you're cleaning laundry or you're cleaning up a mess or something. You're constantly doing something to care for the house or for the child or for the children or kids or animals or whatever. And then they don't see that. They only see the fact that you're not paying attention to them, so then they want more of your attention. And you're like, I'm already giving you all of my fucking attention.
They're very attention hungry, especially when they're little. And none of it is coming from a bad place, is what it is good. I've found it's good to remember. And they would much rather, like, it's going to be a lot better if your kid. Actually, your kid's not even probably going to remember the house was messy or all the dishes weren't done or blah, 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 blah. So you like, I find myself getting that mindset too of like, I've been doing things to take care of you and the house all day and you want more attention from me so bad you can't stand it. But the thing is a lot of the times we get caught up doing those things and we don't give that one-on-one attention. So I try to remind myself they're not going to remember the mess, but they will remember the love and affection and attention they get. So if you need to have a mess in order to give them the attention that they need, do that. And if you have a partner that's like, oh, it's messy, tell them that they can clean it up because you were giving attention to a child so they have good memories of being little later instead of feeling like they weren't getting enough later. Okay? That is more important. Like, yes, you don't want your house to be filthy, true, but if it's not harming anyone to let some dishes go a little bit longer or laundry or whatever, so that you can spend more one-on-one time with your child. There's a time when they're little that they crave that and they're learning so much so quickly that not only are they craving that attention, but you can use that attention to teach them things that they didn't know, and they will soak it all in.
And I know you don't realize it, but I am. And you're running on fumes, and you just need 5 minutes where you don't have someone saying something, making noise. Like, the auditory overload is insane.
I know people are going to see this and be like, well, it looks like you got a couple minutes to make a TikTok. I think her kid is like right in the back somewhere, so she still doesn't have like space by herself. And I think the critique is super valid of saying, well, you didn't think about this before you had a kid. And I also think it's super valid to say, well, I didn't think of that, because a lot of us are sold that motherhood is the main thing that we should do, and it is amazing for every single woman ever. Everyone's qualified to be a parent. Everyone should love it. Everyone will like it, and it's going to be an amazing Disney princess type feeling when you hold your baby for the first time. But that's not the truth for everyone.
Well,
in fact, there is moms coming out saying, I don't even like my kids, which can happen too. I hate my kids. Jeez. Starting off a little brutal. I thought it was gonna be like, I dislike my kids, I don't like my kids. Nope, hate.
I hate my kids. I hate myself for saying that. I don't even want to be around my kids.
So at first I was like, oh, but she's someone that and that have those thoughts about their children. And even though she isn't saying that, the comment section is, and it gets pretty dark. I wanted kids so bad. I wanted a family, but I thought I would have them when I had the finances to have them and the support. I have neither. I hate being a mom. I hate being a mom. I never wanted kids. I was underage and my parents wouldn't let me do adoption. I'm stuck. I hate it. And this is why I don't believe every single person should have children. Can you imagine?
No, they shouldn't.
Scrolling through TikTok and for some reason this popped up 20 years later and they see their mom's face on there. And even if the parent never explicitly says it and even goes through the motions of being a good parent, there's always something. Usually the kid usually knows in the back of their head. They kind of say, I don't think my parent ever wanted me. I don't even think they like me.
If I'm being honest, as an adult, I think one of the most challenging, hurtful things that I struggle with to this day, and I'm still learning, but it's hurtful, is the fact of realizing like your parent doesn't really like you.
And that's coming from a kid who I pretty much know my dad didn't like us. He had an explicit thought of how his kids would be, and we were not the cookie cutter kid that he wanted. He's literally the epitome of what.
If you want a kid because you want them to be a specific way, you should not have kids. You should have kids if what you want is to see them grow and blossom into their own human being. You don't get to pick your kids. You can try and indoctrinate them to be specific kinds of people. And yeah, sometimes that works, but you should not want your kid to be an exact replica of you or something like that, or exactly what you want, because they are their own human beings. I think far too many people have kids without the thought process of realizing that they are their own person.
The woman said, if you can't handle your kid coming out a way that you aren't going to like, probably shouldn't have kids. And growing up, especially once I hit my teens, I always would say, I don't think my dad likes me. Your kids will know.
Sometimes you just have to accept that your parents don't love you.
I really do believe that the only love that can truly be unconditional is the love between a parent and their child. So the fact that my parents didn't even give me that, and that was my one shot at truly unconditional love, makes me want to beat them over the head 6,000 times.
And many people are saying, well, this is like new mother stuff. They just have to get through like being a new mom and then, you know, they'll get over it. No. There's some moms on here that waited until the ripe old age of elderly to tell their kids, you know what? I never liked you. This is my mom. She finally told me after 30 years that she doesn't love me. I've known my whole life. Yeah, see, usually you can kind of tell. And I guess this mom has been waiting to say it.
What you gonna do, hit me?
No. I wouldn't do that.
Well, get out of my room.
Why? Because you don't love me?
Well, I mean, she never said no. She didn't say yes either. Usually parents who at least want to try to make it look like they love their kids, they would swing the door open and scream, I love you. I always loved you.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
That's what my dad did. It was very dramatic. And even through the dramatics, I was like, this is the saddest little theatrics I have ever seen. So, you know, the lonely male epidemic is rising. The child-free women, I'm thinking the world wants to call it an epidemic, is also rising. Women are choosing a lot better and not settling for weirdo men that are probably going to make them a single mom in the first place. And now there's a bunch of single moms on the internet saying, if there is a chance you're going to be a single mom, don't do it. And of course, to combat that, there's a lot of men on the internet saying,
you will never have fulfillment until you birth a child.
What's with all the weird flexes of people that don't have kids? I get to sleep in, I can travel, I can go where I want. Dude, I have 5 kids and I can sleep in.
Hold up, that's a red flag right there. You have 5 kids and you can sleep in? Why?
Yeah.
Either you're extremely well off and you have a few nannies to take care of your 5 kids, or your wife is the one waking up and not sleeping in and taking care of your kids while you make TikToks on the beach with your nipples out.
I can travel, I can go wherever I want to. So what, you don't have to change diapers. You realize the diaper changing phase and the waking up in the middle of the night phase is only like the first 2 years.
Right? Wrong. No, it's not. Not for everybody.
Right? I think the people that are trying to convince us how much they love not having kids probably have some fertility issues.
I mean, once again, I did get her yanked out. Now she over there in the corner. Useless. But she wasn't always useless. Apparently, I'm very fertile. Whoever created us gave me specific childbearing hips. Very hard to find genes. But just because someone doesn't want to have children doesn't mean they have fertility issues.
Or they can't find a partner, they don't have kids with them.
The reason why I couldn't find a partner was because a lot of men said that they wanted children and I didn't, so there was no point in doing that, because ain't nobody gonna change my mind, only I can change my mind. And a lot of the men who said they wanted kids were like this. I would question them on some basic taking care of children tasks and they were stupid. If I got with them, they'd probably also be on the beach with their tits out, filming a TikTok in really annoying sunglasses saying, I get to sleep in and you only have to change diapers until 2. That's not the case, because sometimes you still have to deal with pee and poop, because some kids pee the bed until they're 9. That's not.
One thing I can say is also, like, all of the guys I dated before my husband, I would not have wanted to have kids with any of them. Not a single fucking one. And could that be my fault? Did I have bad taste? Maybe. Maybe. But I think that it is important to think about who you're having a kid with before you do that. I mean, I know accidents happen. I hate to call kids accidents, but here we are. I know accidents can happen. But, like, if you're thinking about having a kid with someone, think really long and hard about what that's going to look like 5 years from now.
Not me. It was my brother. Nerd.
They missed the boat, so now they're trying to convince us all that it's the greatest life ever.
Okay, so riddle me this, the baby.
Yeah, you know what? People who are child free and they're just talking about how they don't want kids and blah blah blah, but they're not like trying to push the ideology. They're not trying to push that on other people, and they're not flexing about it. If they're flexing about it and trying to push it on other people, yes, they are trying to convince themselves and other people, like I said earlier, that it's the best life ever, that it's the right decision. You know, but if someone is like, well, this is for me, I don't want kids because I don't want them because of me, this, yeah. Like Michelle, the way she goes about it, totally understandable, normal, rational, you know, way to go about it. But like the women in the beginning who are like flexing in our faces, you're trying to get something out of creating this. And you look weird doing it. You look real weird.
So riddle me this, the baby daddy Manaphy. Ew.
I'm not negating how weird this man is. Also, he is a walking red flag in my opinion.
Why are there so many moms saying it's not the best life ever? Why are the moms who are stressed out not on the beach like you are, with their tits out and really annoyed?
Because the mom is the assumed caretaker of the children, and the dads, a lot of dads think this is their role, is to do whatever the fuck they want while she's taking care of the kids. That's why.
Sunglasses, filming a TikTok saying it's the best thing ever. Huh? Maybe it's because it's not the best thing ever for every single person on this earth.
It's an empty, selfish life, man.
So I've heard the whole it's selfish not to have children thing. There's a mom on here that was trending because she...
Maybe a hot take here. I think it's equally or more selfish when people do have kids. I can make a whole video about that if you guys would like. When I was debating whether or not I wanted kids, which was ridiculous because I knew that I really did, but I was kind of trying to talk myself out of it for reasons. They're personal. I did think about how selfish it was to have kids, and sometimes I still think that it was selfish of me to have a child, because if I look at it realistically, then I would say I had a kid for selfish reasons. I didn't do it for her. I think actually I would be willing to probably debate someone on this, because I'm so sure of my opinion that there is not a unselfish reason to have a child. Like, you're not doing it for the child. I don't know. And I know that it's probably such a hot take or an unpopular opinion, but I just don't see how you would ever bring a child into this world and it be completely unselfish and for the child. I don't think that's realistically possible.
You also had that type of mindset as well?
This child-free trend that is going on with Gen Z they openly will say they don't want kids. And I used to years ago think that people without kids they were super selfish, and now I've changed my views. I now think that it is selfish to have kids that you don't truly want.
Yes. As a kid who felt like one of my parents
Yeah.
didn't want me, I feel like that was super selfish. I feel like I miss out on having like that daddy-daughter relationship, you know? Because my dad was always there. But it's like you kind of mourn that life of a dad that's still around, but like not around. Because you could tell he never really wanted you unless you took the exact path that he had for you before you were born, which is very stupid. By the way. And if you notice in the TikTok of the man with the sunglasses on the beach who has all the time in the world to make a TikTok when he has kids aging from, what was it?
I have 5 kids, dude. From 3 years old to 19 years old.
Yeah. 3 to 19. He pretty much mentioned that not having them is lonely, which to me, that's pretty selfish. You just have kids because you're lonely. Go make friends, weirdo.
Selfish.
Also, at the end, he mentioned it's a gift for himself.
Little part of you, man.
Selfish.
It's your gift to the world.
Oh, I'm that wrong. It's not a gift for himself. It's a gift to the world. His sperm is that important. Anyway, even though there's a lot of men on the internet saying, we must have children.
I say I'm going to be honest. A lot of people out here having kids probably thinking that their kids are a gift to the world. He's probably not the only one. And meanwhile, they probably create little fucking bullies. Let's be honest. A lot of them are creating, like, you're not creating someone who's going to change the world for the better 99% of the time. So, and that's not to say that all kids are going to turn out to be terrible, horrible people, but how many of them are really going to be world changing enough to be a gift to the world? I'm just wondering. I'm not saying that individual kids aren't great, precious, awesome, and they don't make an impact into the people's lives that they meet. But hopefully you get what I'm saying. Like, how many of them are going to be groundbreaking and world changing? Especially when some of the people out here that are parents are who they are and act the way they act.
We must breed, spread our sperm. Alpha male, way to be man is to make sure we have kids. There's actually a lot of child-free men also posting on the internet and being totally chill coming home with their animals.
I've been on the road a lot, and the only thing you really got to come home to is a dog. And they're like, does that not bother you? And then when I stop and I start thinking about it, you know, I start kind of getting depressed and upset about it, and I'm like, yeah. And then I start getting emotional, and I want to start crying. And when I get like that, I just, you know,
in the background.
I gotta start wiping away all my tears.
This is it right here. I'm telling you. And she said the quiet thing out loud.
Genuinely, I don't know what people expect when they post videos like that. Like, first of all, I caught something in the background that was like, okay, douchebag. But then it's also like, what do you, like, I bet he drives a really big truck. And I bet he needs everyone to see it.
I think a lot of people feel the same way and they're just coping. No, I love my dogs, love my cat, it's all good.
I'm 32 years old and I'm child-free, and there's not a single person on the face of this earth who could ever convince me to have children. Not a single one. I don't care who it is. No amount of reasoning will ever make me think.
I don't, the guy between the two guys before this guy, I didn't pay attention to a fucking word he said, I'm just gonna be honest with you. But see, so far, this guy, like, that's fine. That's fine. Nothing weird about this.
It's a good idea to have children.
Whenever I'm having a bad day, I'm just like, man, imagine if I had kids too. Like, work is stressing me out, bills are stacking.
It's understandable.
Cars making noises. But then imagine adding a toddler screaming because their applesauce touched their chicken nugget. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. You know, I just, a bad day for me right now is running late and forgetting my headphones.
Many men are actually going under an...
See, like, why couldn't the first guy just be normal? Like, why couldn't he just be normal? I know it shouldn't have bothered me so much, but like, just the whole video of the first guy just screamed, I'm a big douchebag. Red flags all over the place. Like, I guess it's the same feeling I got from the women in the beginning, you know? It's that were like flexing in the weirdest way they could, not having kids. Like, I I just don't understand why people have to get online and be so fucking weird. I just don't get it.
Knife to make sure that they also don't have children. A vasectomy with no kids is kind of wild.
Damn it. You got me.
No, it's not.
A vasectomy with no kids is pretty wild. It's almost as if I don't have kids and I'm doing everything in my power to prevent ever having kids because I do not want kids. You know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Let me take a deep breath, process what I'm trying to tell you in a way that everyone can understand.
What's this?
Fuck them kids.
Oh.
I say F you because why would you
I was
care
like,
if someone
what?
got a vasectomy and they don't want kids? You just
Yeah.
don't get a vasectomy and have kids. So I don't know if men get super
Exactly.
questioned as much as women do when they say they don't want to have children. I feel like many men get like, yes, he's not having kids. He knows the way to do it. Oh, he's also not getting married. Yeah, that's great. But they do get some pushback, especially online.
Main reason I get is like, why I don't have no kids? Your dick don't work or something?
That's just a dramatic way of thinking that if someone doesn't want to have children or if a man doesn't want to have children, that means his
That's
penis is having
crazy.
some kind of mechanical error.
It works.
It's like the guy sitting on the beach with the 5 kids who said that anyone who doesn't want children or have children, especially when you get older, it means that you're infertile. Obviously. A single man over 30 with no kids is a major red flag. How dare you not be a single dad? Being responsible is so early 2000s. But I mean, at least some guys are getting shamed on the internet too for not having kids by a random guy on TikTok who I think is in the gym. Sir, maybe focus on your workout and not other men's penises. Just a thought. So despite popular belief, it's not only women on the internet saying they love being child free. It's not only women on the internet saying, I wish I stayed child free. And it's not only women on the internet saying they hate being a mom. Some men are talking about they hate being a dad.
I hate being a dad. Point blank period. I wake up every day, not thankful to be a dad. Wish I wasn't a dad. Nothing changed my mind about that. I've told my baby mama how I don't think I'll ever get over the fact that when I told her I didn't want a kid, she still was like, I don't care, and had the kid.
I'm gonna let him finish, but I just can't help but think about Pearl and her bright big old mouth when she tells women to pick better. But what would she say in this situation? Would she tell this guy he should have picked a better woman? Just wondering.
But this feeling has never stopped me from showing up, ever. Take your moments, take your breaks, take your little 10-10s, but let's just keep rolling. You got this, I got this. We all doing it together.
So it all ended very nicely, area where he just hates being a dad. He doesn't like that feeling of being a dad and just being a father, and that's very similar to what the other women were saying too.
Again, being a parent's hard.
But the comment section was completely different. I don't even think that this went viral. Yeah, no. People just really like or love to hate and respond to a woman saying, I love my kids, but I absolutely hate being a mother. And also they like to blame the child.
It's almost like it's supposed to be inherent if you're a woman.
Free women who are just doing their normal thing about the rise of people not having kids. What do we have to do with it? Anyway, I'm always an advocate for people doing exactly what they want and not designing their life to fit what makes other people comfortable. If you don't want children, you probably shouldn't have them. If you do want children, I do think that you should at least think about it. Do you have enough money to feed yourself? Because then you might run into some problems. And like always, I think that you should at least be around children, take care of a baby on like your worst day.
Okay, so I had never been around a baby. And I had never taken care of or watched really a small kid. I watched 2 small children, probably like, I'm going to say 4 and 5 maybe, for like a couple hours one day, and they broke stuff. So I was not practiced at all with children. I had never even changed a diaper before I had my daughter.
And see if you can handle it. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Beyond popular belief to that man in the sunglasses that's on a beach with his shirt off, I do have other responsibilities even though I don't have children and my uterus is yeeted off in the corner of the room. I have to actually go and do a lot of responsibilities. I don't have time to go to the beach. So, bye.
Hell yeah. Basically, I would like to conclude with saying big feelings are okay. It's okay to have big feelings. I do think that I like people being honest on the internet about how hard it is to be a parent nowadays instead of just acting like it's all sunshine and rainbows, because it's not. A personal opinion of mine is that sometimes, and it didn't come up in the video, but sometimes I think people tend to have more kids than they are capable of mentally handling. I hate to say that because it's a personal decision. It's up to you. You're supposed to know what you can handle, but as someone with just one kid right now, it is extremely hard. I can't imagine a world where I would want more than two, because I feel like that would be emotionally damaging for almost everyone involved. I do think there are people who can handle more kids than that. I think they are angels on this earth, people who can handle more kids than that, and do it well and not cause trauma for the children, and themselves probably, and other people around them. But I think that people with that amount of emotional stability tend to be extremely rare. That was just some kind of something I wanted to add into this. If you're thinking about having kids, or you already have kids and you're thinking about having other kids, really think about how much you can handle. Please do not put yourself in a position where you hate being a parent if you can at all help it. And I do understand how people could come to the conclusion of hating being a parent but loving their kids. I understand how you could get there, because it is, I've said this a million times already, it's incredibly difficult. I understand how you could get there. But again, as having one, I can't understand how anyone would ever plan more than two. But then again, I'm not as emotionally stable as the angels on earth who can have more kids, and I'm not. Like, I can only handle so much. But I think that it's incredibly weird to tell people that they should have kids, and I think it's incredibly weird to tell people that they should not have kids. And I think there are rational ways to go about sharing the fact that you want kids, or that you did want kids, without being a weirdo on the internet and pushing your lifestyle on other people. It annoys the crap out of me when people do that. It is a you thing. It is a you decision. It doesn't matter.
Editing, crawling. It's a you decision.
It doesn't matter what other people think you should have. Even me thinking that having more than two kids is almost complete insanity. I'm not you. If you are sure that you are mentally capable of doing that and not causing anyone any trauma because it was way too much, you go. You do it. Do it up. And I also think that, again, there are tactful ways to share how you feel about being a parent on the internet that's not going to leave your kid vulnerable if they come across it. You can have honest and real conversations, I think, without making your kid feel unwanted. And that's just a kind of another little point I wanted to make sure to drive home there. But I have been recording for about an hour and a half. I may leave some cuts in here because I had to go tend to my daughter like a million times. If you'd like to like this video, that'd be great. If you'd like to subscribe, that'd be cool too. If you don't, then I will try again next time. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.